Get ready. It's time for a well-deserved break, Pittsburgh, with Heather Abraham and David Highfield from the KDKA TV studios. It's Pittsburgh Today Live.
Hey everybody, it's Friday.
How's your leg feeling? That was a pretty big hike
It was,
for you.
yeah. There's a reason I have shorts on. We're going to get to that in a moment. I'm not alone. I'll just say that.
We're waiting because there are things happening that we can't show you for
Right. Happening right now, apparently.
obvious reasons.
All right. There is something really spectacular and heartwarming that's happening. And this speaks so much of like how people step up and really care. And of course, it's centered in Western Pennsylvania.
Of course.
Yeah.
So do you remember the wedding cookie table group? You may already be a part of it, but they've been on PTL a few times, and we always have a wonderful time with them. Here you're looking from a Christmas cookie decorating segment that we did with Laura Magone, who actually is one of the key components to starting this group.
Right.
And she brought in her mom to help us decorate these cookies. But this Facebook group, when it started, I think we were amazed because it had like 30,000 members. It now has more than 260,000 members involved in this.
That's crazy. And it also speaks to how many people want to get involved. And we love it when they visit because the cookies are delicious.
So good.
Well, here's the story why we're bringing this up now. Laura posted on the page that a member who always helps others needs some help. In fact, there's a mom with stage 4 cancer, and her daughter's wedding is this weekend.
Yeah, it's happening actually tomorrow. So Laura posted earlier this month, hey, look, this woman is always helping other people, always coming through to bake cookies for others. She needs help because she wants to do this wedding cookie table like she did for her other kids for her daughter. Yeah. So Laura puts this post out, the call to action. She said that she needed about 600 cookies and gave a list of what they were, like chocolate chip, peanut butter, Italian wedding cookies, some of the classics. And man, did people come through?
The responses, I mean, it's just fantastic. So people have pledged so many cookies. It looks like they're going to get the 600 cookies. They only have 200 guests. The cookies are being delivered today. We've reached out to Laura because we want to know more about the story, and hopefully we're going to have her back on the show soon to talk more about it. But
Fingers crossed.
It makes you feel good. It really does. People step up and they want to help. And cookie tables are such a tradition here.
Right. And so it's so nice to know that, you know, people were able to help her out at the time of need. Oh,
well, and strangers who just like want to step up and do it. Yeah.
Okay, so David, if you were watching the news yesterday, you may have already seen this, but David, you were home, and I know you missed this, and so we wanted to wait because this is amazing. Take a listen.
A little bit lower, Bill. Upward motion. There you go. There it is. A little bit lower. Let's go.
Oh, what is happening there?
Okay, so that raccoon obviously was choking. Now, this all went down in Michigan. They had to record this so people would believe it, as you can imagine.
All right.
This is how it all went down. Apparently, the raccoon's hanging out in the yard earlier in the day.
Which would have made me suspicious and not want to be near the raccoon for fear that it was rabbit or something.
Right, but apparently friendly enough so that the guy who lives there was like petting it earlier in the day. I don't know why or what prompted that action, but later on it got into some garbage and then it started to choke. So the friends jumped in to help, including that man you saw. Take a listen to this.
I was in total disbelief. I couldn't stop laughing because I literally could not believe what was going on. Bill's literally smacking a wild raccoon and it's letting him do it.
I'm like, dude, you're doing it a little bit wrong. You might want to do it at a little bit lower, like an upward motion. And as soon as he did that, it shot that right out of its mouth. Let's go.
You know, without my coach over there, you know, telling me the proper way to do it, it probably wouldn't have lived. So it's pretty awesome.
I love that.
Like
He saved the raccoon.
You're not going to die on my watch. Like,
right, no, this is going to, and then go lower, because, you try to get the food out.
You know, we know sometimes, especially with deer, if they get scared, sometimes they can have some really nasty and bad, sometimes even fatal reactions. But this raccoon clearly knew that they were stepping in to help and was like, come on, please, get me a little lower. Do something to help me.
I love that. Oh, no, I'm glad you shared that today because that's so good. That puts me in a good mood.
There are good people out there willing to help even the smallest of creatures.
All right, from raccoons to Muppets. Yes, we want to talk about a movie that's very important to Heather. Like, this is one of your pivotal childhood You've talked about this before.
It brings me so much joy, and I think I showed it to the kids probably a little too soon because it's a little intense. But this is the mashup between Jim Henson and David Bowie and George Lucas. It's a magical marvel, and it is coming to a stage near us. Really, take a look.
Everything I've done for you. I move the stars with no one. Run so long, run so far.
Gosh, I love it. I love it so much. It's The Labyrinth. This came out in 1986, so I saw it a couple of years after that.
I was going to say, how old were you when you saw The Labyrinth then?
I was born in 1984. I'll have to ask my mom the first time I saw it, but this became one of my favorite movies. I own a copy of it, a DVD to be exact, and we play it in the minivan now because the kids also love it. So here's what's happening. Jim Henson's Labyrinth in concert is coming to 30 cities. Pittsburgh is on the list, and I can't remember exactly when it is. I think it's October.
October 5th.
Yes.
Carnegie Music Hall. Yeah.
The movie's going to play on a large screen, and then there's going to be a band that plays alongside with
I
it.
love when they're doing this because they're reinvigorating things by doing stuff like this.
Okay,
Yeah.
here is the thing that I don't know the answer to. The first city in the tour is Morgantown. And that actually, they're doing this because it's Jim Henson's birthday.
Okay.
And so the first stop is in Morgantown on
So
September 24th.
does Jim Henson have a connection to Morgantown that we weren't aware of?
That we're unaware of. I don't know. But if you want to check out on September 24th and be the first one to see this, that's where to go. Yeah.
Morgantown.
But I will be there.
I know you're going to be there, so we're going to hear all about it. I think I had never seen it. Because they weren't
like. You want to go with me?
Well, I'll go now. As a kid, I remember when this came out, but it was scary Muppets. It wasn't happy Muppets. So I was like, no. And how old were you? You were like 4 or 5 or something, and I was. Well, older than that. All right, let's get to your questions. It's the Friday free-for-all. We have some great questions and we want to get to them. So the first one, Janina's asking, what's your go-to comfort food when you're having a bad day? Easy for me, mashed potatoes.
I was going to say, I think that we have the same answer.
Yeah. Don't they just make you feel good?
It's warm, it's fluffy, it fills the stomach. It is actually, if we have the stomach bug in our house, it is the first thing I want when I have my appetite back.
Oh, wow.
It is the first thing I crave.
Mashed potatoes. All right, Bonnie is asking a question for Heather. Heather, just curious how Kevin and Tina have adjusted to their new home, and do you miss living on the Mount?
You know, we do miss living on Mount Washington, but I'll tell you, the kids were outside with the neighborhood kids in our new neighborhood yesterday, and they held a lemonade stand, and I thought, oh my God.
Oh, that's so sweet.
This is so nice, and so they're doing really well, and so are Kevin and Tina. In fact, I think they're probably loving it even more because we don't have a fenced-in backyard yet. And so we have to walk them. So they're getting tons of walk, more than they normally would.
Right.
So I think that they are very
So they're living life and enjoying it.
I apologize. I sent in some pictures, but I sent them in a little late, so I don't know that we have them to share with you. But I'll try and post them on Facebook.
Yeah, we'll just next week we'll just randomly show some pictures.
Kevin and Tina. Got it.
All right, Paul is asking, what do you value most in a friendship?
You know, I think trust is a big thing, but next up in a close second is humor. I need somebody that's going to make me laugh.
Yeah. I think humor is right up there. I think somebody, much like a relationship, somebody who loves you no matter what.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And I think that's just so important. Someone that you can count on like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Christy is asking, David, where did you and Gary meet?
We met at a cabaret. It was it's called the Union Project in Highland Park. We were in the basement of this building, and Gary recognized me and asked somebody who knew both of us, would you introduce me? And so we talked for a little bit, and then he says, hey, sometimes I have parties at my house. There's a picture, yes, our stock footage picture of the two of us.
There it is.
And he said, sometimes I have parties at my house. Would you ever like to come to a party at my house? And I said, well, maybe. So I wrote down my number. I figured out, or he tells me now, it was barely legible, but he calls me the following Tuesday and said, you want to come to a party this weekend? And I said, sure. And then he had to frantically call people and say, I need to be holding a party this weekend because there was no party.
He just made one up.
He made one up. So
you know what's funny is that just shows how much you like him. You liked him in that moment, because if someone that you did not find attractive or came up to you and said hey, I have parties at my house sometime. Do you want to come here?
Well,
But
see,
you'd be like,
the way you just delivered it is kind of creepy.
Hey,
Actually,
sometimes I,
hey, I got
I've
parties in my house sometimes.
We do some pretty good parties in my house. You want to come sometime? No, I don't, stranger.
You know what?
Get away from me.
Oddly enough, I felt a familiarity, like I knew Gary. I don't know. I mean, somehow, cosmically, like
right.
it just felt like this is a path, like right, almost from the beginning. So much so that I scared him. But anyway, all right, moving on to the next question before the phone lights up. It says, "Quit talking about me."
Sally says, if you could have dinner and spend time with a non-family, non-coworker, who would that be? And I thought about this, and I think it would be my old friends from News 12, Brooklyn. So it would be Stacy and Matt Piper. Matt Piper, you may know from working at CBS News. He actually does some of the overnight news.
Yeah, I see him sometimes on my TV in the newsroom. Yeah.
I worked with Matt at News 12, and my friend Andrea, who works at CBS News in New York, and Stacy, who's now out of the business, but she's in real estate. But I would probably have dinner with them. I miss them so much, and I still talk with Stacy at least once a week. So
that's great that you stay in touch like that. I would probably say some friends from college, or my dear friend Tonya Caruso, who like we have been friends since the very first day I walked in the door here at KDK. We interned here, and that first summer, she let me in the door. And so we've been friends ever since, and she no longer works here, but she's still in Pittsburgh, and just love her.
And here's our last question, because we have to show, we have a big reveal here. Kurt wants to know, do you have any hidden talents? I would say my inability to catch anything thrown my way.
I think it's, you know what? It speaks to your positive nature that you've taken an inability and turned that into a talent. Because I'm not sure everybody would list it that way, but that's fantastic, Heather. I can draw a little bit, and I can paint a little bit, and I wish I had more time to do it, because I think it's a lot of fun.
You know, I feel like coming up in the next couple of weeks, we should really have you plein air. I think that we should set you.
Right.
Which
is a word that I learned like the first year here on PTL, because I didn't know what it was. But it's like painting by the seashore or something, right? Yeah. Which I think that would be a wonderful retirement.
Can we take you down to the Mon? Would that count?
Yeah, I could paint along the Mon.
And we're going to set up a camera. You're going to paint for the whole hour. We're going to see what you come up with.
Oh, well, I might need more than an hour.
Okay.
Like it takes a while. Yeah.
All right, now time for the big reveal.
All right.
And the pact.
So here's what happened. So Ron texted me yesterday, and he said, "Hey, do you remember when we pledged to wear shorts the first day of summer?" And I said, "No, I have no recognition of this whatsoever." But it turns out, apparently, we did. Right, Ron?
Yeah, we did.
So I said, "I'm gonna do it. I'm right there with you, Ron." So yesterday was the first day of summer. Today's the first full day of summer.
First full day of summer. So so here we are.
Right.
Legs out.
Legs out.
I think it looks good, guys.
You know, people in the newsroom were like doing double takes as they saw me. They were like, "What are you doing?" Like even our general manager was like, "What's with this look, David?"
Well, yeah, someone asked me if I was going to do it on the shows this morning, and I was like, "Oh, good God, no."
Not on the actual news program. Here
I
on
was
PTL,
like, my general manager, as soon as he would wake up, he would be like, as fast as he could.
Your phone would be blowing up.
I need to just comment here, just for 1 second. Ron, you have great legs too, so don't take this the wrong way. But David, I would kill to have legs.
I know.
Minus
He
the
got
hair.
some good-looking legs. Yeah, he does.
But I would kill for legs.
Heather, you have great legs. What are you
Not like
talking
that,
about?
David. Not like that.
Like I will say, like my arms are not impressive at all, but I have actual muscles in my legs.
Let's see them. Can you flex those calves?
I mean, did you just come back from vacation?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, do you tan?
That's self-tanner. I put self-tanner on last night because I knew I didn't even own it. I went to the store and I asked the woman, "What do I need to put on that will act by tomorrow morning?" Because I knew that if I didn't, Heather would be like all about like, "Oh, everybody cover your eyes."
Wow.
It's true. I have no tan normally. I have zero tan. So anyhow.
Well,
so
today those bad boys are going to get some sun, you know?
All right. I'm glad we did this.
It was fun.
Fantastic. We better move on now.
It feels great, too. I'll just say
Maybe we
that.
should do this every Friday. Or maybe not.
Phone's gonna be
All
ringing.
right.